NASA captures cosmic dolphin swimming in Jupiter's clouds. So long and thanks for all the fish. I have a picture that I should be showing right now of two plasma formations that one strongly resembles a fish and the other one a bunny rabbit. Let me know what you think. If you're watching the video, then you are looking at it right now, or should be. The whole idea is that very often charged plasma looks like living creatures. The latest image of Jupiter, taken by the NASA ESA Hubble Space Telescope on 25 August 2020, was captured when the planet was 653 million kilometers from Earth. Hubble's sharp view is giving researchers an updated weather report on the monster planet's turbulent atmosphere, including a remarkable new storm brewing and a cousin of the Great Red Spot, changing color again. The new image also features Jupiter's icy moon Europa, but no dolphins. It is a beautiful planet. Electrical charged superfluid plasma cosmology has a living galaxy cell theory essay here, so I can't help myself. I have to check it out. That's pretty interesting. The living mitochondria cells mimic galaxies of the cosmic web filaments. Plasma membranes, analog relativity. Nuclear membrane of a pig kidney. The cytoskeleton underlies the plasma membrane throughout the inside of the cell. All cells have a cytoskeleton protein mosaic just beneath the cell that determines the shape of the entire cell. Stars fill the interstellar medium, ISM, with complex organic, the inside or plasma of a galaxy, which interacts with carbon nanotube, forming the protein mosaic membrane skeleton surrounding inside the membrane of a galaxy. A living galaxy cell surrounded by life in the intergalactic medium. The cytoskeleton is shaped like a galaxy at different views. Very interesting. I've always wondered, the inside of a person is much like the universe. Plasma red blood cell hologram analogy of a living cell galaxy. The ancient Egyptians also equated the universe with the human body. Stars are factories that produce and eject huge amounts of detectable complex organic molecules into the interstellar medium everywhere inside the galaxy. Amino acids self-assemble into proteins and DNA inside carbon nanotubes. In outer space, life might exist in outer space. Conditions showed Johnson organic nanotubes self-assemble into functional, cellular, macroscopic membranes. 3D and 4D life might exist in outer space at quantum and cosmic scales, still unknown and undetected. Many times in my muses of nebula, I am so attracted to the nebulas that look like works of art with actual beings, humanoid type. And what I always wondered and mused about is the nebula that we're looking at a mirror into a grander universe, our microcosm world. It's amazing, it really is. And I would, if I had to bet, I would say that we're definitely linked all the way up and all the way down into this magic universe. Life might, that's interesting that he says that. Plasma blobs form a two-layer plasma membrane with an inner nucleus of gas atoms. Complex self-organizing plasma structures exhibit all necessary properties to qualify as living inorganic matter. Complex plasmas easily form naturally in galaxy, in outer space conditions, into helical organic structures. Complex plasma mimics the functions of a living cell. A galaxy is 99.9% plasma. NASA Space Center scientist Dennis Gallagher states that 99.9% of the universe is plasma. Complex plasmas behave like a liquid in very small amounts. Just a few thousand of micron-sized particles that fractally scales to nanometer water size. Star clusters are organized by ISM, interstellar medium, organics, having polarity-driven electromagnetic interactions with incredibly dynamic common single-atom thick carbon nanotubes, buckyballs, graphenes, coupling of the nanoscale to the macroscopic proteins. Did you read the thing on the carbon stars that I had at the end of the sun video? Pause it and read it. It's very interesting along the same lines. Dynamically transforming proteins like actin assembles from only 10 amino acids supplied by common stellar ejections into the ISM, which would self-assemble actin under interstellar space conditions. Actin microtubules are 7 nanometers in diameter and naturally forms double helix structures. The cytoskeleton protein mosaic is mostly actin that shapes entire cells, galaxies, and the entire cellular cosmic web. Individual star clusters inside galaxies look exactly like the locations of single individual molecules that comprise actin filaments everywhere throughout a living cell. Star cluster NGC 3603 is only 20,000 light-years away. Detectable 10-year changes in star locations defy gravity theories, showing all stars move nearly the same speed. Actin's stable space cable. Actin microfilaments are 7 nanometers in diameter and, amazingly, are the same diameter required for macroscopic scale friction-free high-speed fluid movements inside carbon nanotubes that power multiple cellular processes, such as motility and polarity. Individual actin filaments are briefly built and broken randomly, but collectively they line up side by side and form breakage-resistant cables, shows Michelot. Proteins dynamically transform their structures into constituently similar amino acids. 10 major amino acids comprise actin, which is 50% of the dry mass of the cell. 50% of the dry mass of the cell. Actin is nearly the same in all species, and is the thinnest, most common, strongest, stablest, most tensile, flexible filament in all known life forms. Microfilaments, mostly actin, are everywhere in the cell, as solid rods made of globular proteins of actin nanotubes. Abundant, complex organic molecules in the interstellar medium would comprise a space metamaterial fabric composed of a transparent cytoplasmic gel connecting entirely the inside of a galaxy, except the nucleus. These same living processes that occur inside cells by the dimensionality of carbon manifest and organize macroscopic cosmological phenomena, such as bifractal scaling, magnetic reconnection. Oh, okay. These guys, they must be a little bit different than the Thunderbolts folks, because they don't magnetic reconnection. Don Scott does not like that. Carbon nanotubes enter the cell nucleus of cells naturally without harmful effects. The cell nucleus undergoes division and polarity arises when electricity flows through carbon nanotubes. This would cause the nucleus to spin like a black hole of a living galaxy cell. This might be some new folks on the scene. I have not seen any of this stuff before. It looks really good. It's going to be interesting reading a lot of it. The title grabbed my attention. I thought I'd bring it to you. Lots of new stuff coming our way from the electric universe. The next decade is going to be very interesting indeed. The more data that pours in, the harder it's going to be to plug those holes. The Keenan-Barger Cowie KBC Void, named after the Wisconsin astronomers Keenan, Barger, and Lennox Cowie, is thought to be one of many. There is no emptiness in the electric universe. According to a recent press release, astronomers are puzzled by the extent, as well as its lack of galaxies in what is deemed the largest void yet discovered. The void is approximately 2 billion light years in diameter, as astronomers measure distance, and it's within that cosmic bubble that the Milky Way galaxy is said to reside. The problem is, such a structure should not exist. The Keenan-Barger Cowie KBC Void contains far too little matter for its size. The universe is theorized to be a certain age, as the scientific consensus thinks all matter and all energy came into being during the Big Bang. Based on its theoretical expansion rate, the universe should create various formations for time. The problem with the empty regions, like the KBC, is that gravity has not had enough time to pull matter into bounded bubbles with empty centers. About 15 years ago, astronomers discovered that remote galaxies seem to indicate the universe is expanding faster today than it did in the past. Such anomalous redshift observations threaten Big Bang cosmology, so the existence of negative pressure on gravitational fields was proposed. Negative gravity ideas flew in the face of most theories, so the accelerated expansion was later amended to dark energy. Because it cannot be detected with any instrument, only inferred. Instead of accepting that observational anomalies exist because the Big Bang theory is faulty, astronomers resort to theoretical addenda, such as the questionable idea that space can be pulled, twisted, or stretched. In a previous picture of the day, astrophysicists from the University of California were quoted as saying, "The universe is made mostly of dark matter and dark energy, and we don't know what either of them is." From the perspective of electric universe theory, it is electricity that drives galaxies and their associated stars. Laboratory experiments confirmed that Birkeland current filaments form structures that resemble spiral galaxies. Birkeland currents have a longer range attractive force than gravity by several orders of magnitude, diminishing with the square root of the distance from their current axis. That powerful electromagnetic attraction could also account for the movement of stars near the Milky Way's core, as well as the acceleration of galaxies in deep space. Birkeland currents are the strongest long-range attractors in the universe. A physicist and electric universe pioneer, Hans Alfvén, said, "I have never thought that you could obtain the extremely clumpy, heterogeneous universe we have today, strongly affected by plasma processes, from the smooth, homogeneous one of the Big Bang, dominated by gravitation." From A. L. Peratt, Dean of the Plasma Dissidents, Washington Times, Supplement The World and I, May 1988. Stephen Smith. Close encounters of the starry kind. Red dwarf passed within 0.8 light years of our solar system. Now that's getting pretty close to what we're talking about. Shoal's star was discovered in 2014 but appeared to have an odd motion. Astronomers traced its path through the sky and found it was moving away. They found it came closer than any known star 70,000 years ago. It passed so close that it passed through the outer Oort cloud, which is a theory of comets. Our current nearest star is Proxima Centauri, around 4.2 light years away. It's another red dwarf. The Shoal star came 5 times closer, but is now 20 light years away. Our solar system had a close encounter with another star 70,000 years ago, research has revealed. So we're not that far off after all. The recently discovered star passed just 0.8 light years away. They're not really given much else on it. Astronomers discovered the star's flyby by tracing its movement through the sky and found it would have passed within the outer Oort cloud of comets. Dr. Eric Mamajek, an astronomer at the University of Rochester who led the study, said that it is unlikely the star would have caused much disturbance to the scattered icy comets that orbit the outermost reaches of the solar system. However, he said it raised the possibility that other close encounters with stars in the future could have far greater impact. He said, using that, I like the way they use the word impact. They want to make you think of it crashing into us. He said, using the best available astrometry, our simulations suggest the probability that the star penetrated the outer Oort cloud is 98%. While the flyby of this system likely caused negligible impact on the flux of long-period comets, the recent discovery of this binary highlights the dynamically important Oort cloud perturbers may be lurking among nearby stars. Shoal's star was first discovered in 2014 by Rafe Dieter Schultz. Of course, I know nothing. I see nothing. But unlike other stars around it, it appeared to have an unusual motion in the sky. A team of scientists from the US, Europe, Chile, and South Africa used observations of its motion to trace back its trajectory. They found that the star is moving away from the Earth at great speed and came alarmingly close 70,000 years ago. They calculated that the star, which also has the catchy name WISE J 072003.2008461.2, passed 5 trillion miles away from our sun, 0.8 light years away. So that'd be a load of dust 0.8 miles from the sun. I don't think it would have much of an effect. But seeing that they're saying that it can get that close, it's not far off from one entering the sun's heliosphere. This close, it would have been impossible to see the star from Earth with the naked eye. It was far too dim. Scientists believe it is an active red dwarf that is about 8% the mass of our own sun. It is part of a binary system and is accompanied by a brown dwarf, a failed star that was too small to spark life, even when at its closest to Earth. Shoal's star should have been 50 times fainter than what can be normally seen with the naked eye. Instead, the star would have been visible with a telescope, technology far beyond our ancestors 70,000 years ago. Says them. However, the star may have occasionally flared and become brighter for a few minutes. For any of our ancestors who glanced upwards during such a flare, they would have seen it in an area around the Big Dipper. Astronomers who work published in the Journal of Astrophysics Journal Letters calculated that Shoal's star's path would have taken it through the outer areas of the Oort cloud. And they have a little diagram of the hypothesized Oort cloud. This is where they believe long-period comets come from, and short-period comets come from the Kuiper belt. This is what they say, mainstream.